while this might be the worst outcome possible, at least they're getting someone's looking out for them. And I know it's horrible and it's wrong, but who are they going to turn to when you've disrupted that whole system? Because we haven't, you can disrupt a system when you've got alternatives to provide. And that's harsh and brutal. And I know it's controversial, but I really saw the sense of it.
Yeah, I think it's so true. It's like with lots of these young people being exploited, it's everybody knows. You know,
Yeah.
when we get to court and we are, because a young person can run a defence now that they are being exploited. And
Yeah.
because they're under 18, you don't need to show, as you would for an adult,
Yeah.
that they are being forced into acting in a criminal way. But you would just have to show that another young person with the same vulnerabilities as them would have done the same thing in all the same circumstances. So when you run a defence like that in court, we get all of the kind of behind the scenes documents from the local authority and the police and everything. And when you read through these documents, it's just unbelievable what you see. It's for years and years. These young people have been flagged up as probably being exploited. They've gone missing. They've been stopped by the police, clearly, you know, often with older people. Sometimes they're presenting at hospital with older people. And there's all of these things, but nobody has a solution. So the police could, you know, they have all these meetings. You've got social services, youth workers, youth justice services, the police sitting down, all going, yes, this young person is being exploited. And sometimes it's starting from 12, 13. You know, I might only meet them when they're 15. But nobody has a solution of how you stop this and how you actually help them. And it's deeply frustrating when we've got all the knowledge and the information, but nobody has a solution. And I just would like to see I think my kind of vision, and again, this is not a thought, like fully formed vision, but the idea of having like community groups where people are actually coming together to try and create safe spaces for young people, really, you know, with people that the young people can start to trust, like really strong community groups where you can say, you can come here and you're going to be safe, because young people do not feel safe.
Yes.
And they certainly don't feel safe to call the police and think that the police are going to help them. And, you know, there are some genuinely good police officers that are saying we want to help the young people. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to a young person being stopped by the police, potentially committing a crime, in my experience, they are being treated as criminals. You know, it's not as if there's a thing of like, oh, we really want to help this young person. We're really concerned about them. Really, when it comes down to them being arrested, and when you get into court, Crown Prosecution Service are very, very cynical. You know,
it's just a conveyor belt. I mean, it's just a conveyor belt.
And it's this kind of attitude of, oh, well, they might be young, but, you know, they had a choice, you know, and it's just, there's a lack of understanding of, well, like you said, what choice?
Yeah.
What is the alternative for these young people? And you know, like I said, I don't have the answer to how we just go out there and create a safe space, but I just feel that community, we don't have as strong communities now, I feel, than we used to. And I feel like that is where the focus must be. And I don't think this is going to come from government. We can't rely on the government to do this because they're not.
They're not going to.
I think that they just don't feel, you know, there is no will from government to actually create strong communities, because if there was, there would be a focus on housing, like allowing people to live in their communities, stay in their communities. There would be a focus on building proper council housing so that people had lifelong places to live, and a focus on what was the other thing I was thinking? It'll come back to me.
Yeah. So can I just jump in here, because, you know, I've heard you say, you know, we need some better answers and it sits in the community, and, you know, government aren't going to sort this. One of the reasons government aren't going to sort it is 'cause they may only be here for 4 years, and this takes a generation. It's a 10, 15-year process to embed a different set of behaviours into a community. And I'm really sure about that because of the work I did on the streets. But, you know, for the last, I'd say 25 years, I have been pitching and talking about, you know, my vision, and you might be the person, is that we create in communities a youth dispute resolution service run by young people, supervised by adults. And then we bring the parents in to teach them a different way of communicating. And then we bring some of the veterans, you know, the people who are out the other side of sort of gang world, and we train those as well. And you create a safe container where disputes can be sorted, so that, you know, I mean, the thing is, adults don't like, I mean, this was something that came from young people. Adults don't like us fighting, right? So because adults don't like us fighting and they punish us when we fight, we have to go and have our fights where people can't see us.